which is the bhakti text, into a summary form, which is called Nectar of Devotion. And it was written in a way which any audience can understand. So the plan is to go, so we will cover the Nectar of Devotion book, but we'll go a little more detail also. And this is just not I am doing for all of you. I am doing it for myself because, whenever we teach anything, whenever we discuss anything, I don't think I'm teaching. Actually, this will be facilitating. We'll be just going over the subject matter together. Um, and I have done, and this is the third time, I think, third time I'll be teaching this book. Over time, I have gone over the different material from the different teachers, and I try to put it together where uh, it it takes the bhakti concept, just not from the nectar of devotion, but which is the Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu, but it also brings the uh, brings it from the Madhurya Kadambini. That's the other book which talks a lot about the bhakti. Okay, so Hare Krishna Satinder Prabhu, very good to see you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam.
Dandvat Pranam.
Thanks for sharing this link, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Sure, Prabhu. Thanks for interest. Okay, so let's see now if I'm going to write something. So I'm going to see that this thing works. Okay. And I'm going to turn off my video for a bit because I'm going to move my laptop in a different angle. All right. So tell me, when you think of bhakti, oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Just hold on. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, Prabhu.
All right. So we will be, before I go into that, let me set the how how I'm planning to structure it, and I would like to know if this is something aligns to you, and we can change it. Um, so plan is we will use the first session today, and today we have wasted like 10 minutes due to a technical issue. The goal is to give the context where this book is coming from. What is the relationship of this book with other books, like in terms of Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita, because unless we understand the context, we don't understand the importance, right? The context does provide a lot of value. So we'll be setting the context, and then from there, we will learn a little bit about the Rupa Goswami. How did he heard about this message? From whom did he hear? What this book entails, right? So it creates the enthusiasm within us because this is not a like I know this is you all know you are all devotee practitioners, right? You all know this is not a mundane, but the depth of it, where it's going to take us. So I would like to make it visualize for all of us and create a appreciation for our Goswamis, especially Rupa Goswami, right? And after that, if the time permits, definitely I would like to go to the preface of this book, right? So that's the plan. So cover 3-4 section today, and I would love to, and we'll figure it out. I would love to, if it works for you, have maybe 2 classes a week whenever possible, right? And we would like to work on that. And later on, few chapters will definitely take one class. So there are 19 chapters which we will be covering within the whole Nectar of Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu, which has not many chapters, around 80 or so. So we are going to cover 19 chapters. That's what Bhakti Sastri recommends based on Prabhupada, right? So we will be going over chapter by chapter. So it depending on the questions. So I want to take us with a quick pace. Yet at the same time, I want to make sure that everybody's coming together. It doesn't feel rushed, right? So it will be a balancing act, and that's where your participation and your feedback will really matter, right? How we take it forward. So in a nutshell, that's a structure. I expect around minimum of 20 to 22 classes minimum. Last time when I taught, I think I remember there was 30 classes, 30 classes we took. So we will see. So I'll take a pause. Is this something which will work for you? Like, do you prefer to have only one class a week, or the 2 class a week would be okay for you? Okay, how many for 2 classes? Like you can tell me, raise your hand. How many are okay with the 2 classes a week?
If not on Saturday, 2 works for me, Prabhu.
If it is not on Saturday, or if it is on Saturday?
Uh, Saturday does not work for me.
Okay,
Like I
okay,
have
okay,
service, Prabhu.
okay, got it. Okay. Bhumika Mataji works for you. Bri Mataji, would you prefer 2 classes or one classes? One class a week?
It depends on what days.
One the days, okay. So we'll figure it out. Means, but you're okay. Let's say if the day works, you will be okay with the 2 classes.
Yes.
Okay. Satinder Prabhu, will it work for you? 2 classes a week?
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Should
And okay. Hare Krishna Preeti Mataji, very wonderful to see you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, sorry.
Uh,
I got
uh,
delayed.
No worries, no worries. I'm glad that I don't know who all will be joining today. So I'm very happy that you are joining. So Preeti Mataji, have you not gone through the Nectar of Devotion before?
No, Prabhu, I haven't
Oh,
gone
okay.
through that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay. I thought, okay, good. All right. So now let's start with um, what does bhakti means. So now we are starting the class for today. What does bhakti means to you? And we can quickly go, right? Whatever comes, whatever you know. So I can just note it down. Tell me, what does the bhakti means to you?
Loving relationship with Krishna.
Okay, loving relationship with Krishna. Okay. What happened? Okay. What else? I'll just type. Anybody else?
Your personal mood towards service, your mood in serving.
I'm sorry. Again, please.
Oh, sorry. So your mood when serving.
Your mood when you are serving. When you are serving. Okay. What else? Bhumika Mataji, you want to say?
Prabhuji, I said loving relationship.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. All right. Anybody else would like to contribute?
Prabhuji, feeling of content while serving.
Feeling of content while serving. While serving. Okay. So this is I find useful for me. Okay. The what I find useful is when I try to create the analogy with something which I know and which I have felt. Right. So one of the things which comes closest to the love is my relationship with my wife. Right. So you may have the intimate relationship with your spouse also. Now think when we think of love, right? What is there, right? So there is happiness, right? There is So that is something what Prabhupada called it rasa, right? Which is the more than that, deeper rasa, which he also referred as mellow, right? There is selfless love. A selfless means, the relationship flourishes when there is a selfless activity, which where the spouse is serving the other spouse without expecting anything in return, right? Now we take the same thing and you see that, okay, I would like to, bhakti is the word used in this context, is the love for Krishna. And the deepest possible love, where at certain level, the there's no qualitative difference between the love and the lover, beloved and the lover. Okay. So we can go deeper and deeper, right? We can go deeper and deeper in this subject. Now, moving to one thing, tell me Bhagavad Gita, how much Bhagavad Gita talks about the when the when Bhagavad Gita thinks of love, what it talks about? What is the deepest point which Bhagavad Gita takes us?
Surrender.
Very good,
Yes.
very good,
Yes, Prabhuji.
absolutely. You are spot on. Surrender. And any verse you can think of?
Sarvadharman Parityajya Kritam.
Wonderful, wonderful. You all remember the Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita takes us to surrender. It talks about the duty, right? Uh, but there's not much about the process, not much about the process. It doesn't talk how to really do it. Of course, it says that it's not that it doesn't talk at all, right? It does talk about it. So, which, if you think about the process, what it talks about, Abhideya, that's what we call it, right? The Bhagavad Gita, what it talks about. Anybody remember this verse?
Manmana Bhava Madbhakto.
Wonderful, wonderful. So always remembering Krishna. So this is the Bhagavad Gita. Now let's go into Srimad Bhagavatam. What Srimad Bhagavatam talks about the bhakti concept, how it deals with the bhakti concept.
Prabhuji, pastimes of the Lord.
Okay, pastimes of the Lord. And what does the pastime of the Lord teaches us?
Mostly, it's in my understanding, it's most like relationship based in
Okay.
relation to.
So it teaches a lot about relationship of a devotee with the Lord, right? Of the devotee with the Lord. Okay, what else? What else?
And how the devotees or how the Lord feels happy with the devotee because of his devotion.
Okay, so Lord's feeling. Okay, yes, Lord's feeling is expressed a bit. Of course, yes, definitely. Uh, so see, Srimad Bhagavatam also talks about a lot of practical application, right? So what Mataji is telling is the pastime of the Lord that teaches us what should be our practical relationship, how we can see the Lord, right? And then Lord glorifies the bhaktas. He says that how devotees are so glorious. Uh, it also brings the commentary from the Vedanta Sutras. It brings a lot of philosophy, right? There are, and so it talks about the tattva and the pastime, but the love portion, right? It 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 doesn't still reveal the mind of the Lord. So it doesn't reveal. So it shows the love, right? So it shows Lord's love for us, right? Deep affection for us, okay? But doesn't reveal how the Lord thinks, doesn't reveal how the Lord thinks. Okay. Now let's go to Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now tell me a little bit. How do we think that Chaitanya Charitamrita deals with this subject matter?
I think this is what you were saying. Like it's not in Srimad Bhagavatam. It doesn't reveal the what Lord thinks. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, I believe how um, it actually reveals how he thinks, how he
Mm-hmm.
feels.
Yeah, reveal the mind of the Lord. So Lord allows us through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Through his incarnation as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, through his form as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he thinks, right? So now it is getting deeper. So our understanding, because once we know that, how I want to love Krishna, okay? Now I have been told that, this is what Krishna likes. Krishna is so great. He's so opulent. Now I'm developing a lot of servitude, the emotion of servitude. I want to serve the Lord because Lord is so great. Now we have also learned that try to take this further. We like Damodar Leela, right? Developing the parenting mood, the love of parenting, Vatsalya Rasa. But then taking it in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a lot of description how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is feeling his feelings towards the Lord, right? Because in the mood of he has come in the mood of Radharani. How he's feeling about that, and it goes so deep. Like there's like a such a feeling of the mellow, right? How he's just rolling on the ground, and his limbs are just d- doing the things which is beyond comprehension, right? So all those things are revealed um, in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, so Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu, Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu concepts in a summary form was discussed with Rupa Goswami within the Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? There are chapters where within 10 days, in the Dasa Amod, there's a um, uh, bank, river bank near the near Prayagraj, which is in Uttar Pradesh, where in 10 days, Lord Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talks about this bhakti mellow with Rupa Goswami. And then Rupa Goswami take that 10 days of the teaching which he got and he converted into Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu. And within that Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu, there are a lot of um, compilation of all the books, the Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, of course, Bhagavad Gita. So when you read the original copy of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which we will be doing for some of the sections, uh, and I can also share the copy. You can the PDF version. You can go and read it. It's the commentary on that is done by the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Our Prabhupada didn't get the time. I'm pretty sure everybody thinks that if Prabhupada would have got the time, he would have definitely gone and expanded the Nectar of Devotion, just like he wrote the other books, right? Where he took the Sanskrit, did the word by word translation, gave the meaning, and then wrote the purport. He would have done that. He didn't get the time. Okay, so we recently the BVT, the Bhaktivedanta Trust, uh, they have they will be soon be releasing the book on that format. I what I heard that they have already released, they launched it, but I don't know it's available to the public, right? So it will be a good thing when it comes. I suppose it will be coming in the same format, so it will be able to take us even to the different references and the deeper meaning. Okay, so in this Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's a tattva plus rasa plus philosophy. So, and very strong rasa, right? So here the rasa, there is rasa is there. You can say how much I say on the scale of 5, you can say 3 out of 5, right? And this is comparative, right? If just say compared with Srimad Bhagavatam, somebody will say it's 5 out of 5. Here, this for a comparative sake, it is 5 out of 5, kind of like that. Okay, so it will go and plus tattva plus philosophy. So this is how these books are related. Now, Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhant, okay, Gaudiya Vaishnava. Now, I'll go to the Gaudiya Vaishnava, and this is very important for us to understand the Nectar of Devotion. Okay. Gaudiya, there are 4 schools of Vaishnavism, right? And Gaudiya Vaishnavism is one of those schools. It's Gaudiya Madhura Vaishnava school. Okay. Now, here the focus is on we know about the sadhana bhakti, right? I think we all have heard about it. How many of you have heard about the raga bhakti? Anyone?
Is it through music, Prabhu? By singing songs?
No.
About the Lord?
No, raga means that also. You're right, but this is the raga bhakti. It's a little different context. You can say you can relate it. But let's see what other devotees have to contribute here.
Is it same as the Raganuga Bhakti, Prabhu?
Yes, Raganuga. Now, somebody tell me who was adding something. What is Raganuga Bhakti? What do you know?
Raganuga Bhakti is spontaneous, natural.
Spontaneous, natural love, right? So you see how the conception is changing here. First, through Bhagavad Gita, I have developed that relationship of servitude, surrender. With Srimad Bhagavatam, I'm getting friendly relationship, but the servitude relationship, mainly because see a lot of the prayers are in the servitude mode. Okay, when the 10th canto, of course, talks about the ultimate mellow, intimate love of the gopis, right? It talks about without naming Radharani, but it does go there. But then canto 11 and 12, it goes into the Siddhant Tattva. Chaitanya Charitamrita comes and shows the intimate relationship. It shows how the intimate relationship, if I haven't experienced the intimate relationship, right? And that's the relationship I aspire. That's the raga nuga. I want to aspire, right? So there's something called, we will be hearing the term called raga atmika, which is following in the footstep of devotee who are in the raga nuga mood, raga atmika. Okay, so raga atmika bhakti, and these are typically Brajvasi gopis, Radharani. Okay, so those are people who follow in their footsteps are called raga nugas. So in the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, the Gaudiya focus is, and this is the differentiation, we focus on the yugal roop, right? The focus is yugal, yugal kishore, kishori. You will hear this, right? So even if you go to Vrindavan, there are a lot of devotees who worship Radharani. They say that what you guys are talking about, Krishna is the servant of Radharani, which is absolutely true. Krishna is a servant of Radharani, but at the same time, Krishna and Radha are non-different. The Gaudiya Vaishnavism is how it is different. Is whenever it thinks of Krishna, it always think of Radharani together. Whenever it thinks of Radharani, it's always with Krishna together. So what our acharyas have told, right? What our acharyas have told, it is the Gaudiya Vaishnava is Radharani love. So we are, in a way, we are followers of Radharani, but with Krishna. So this is our mood. this is how we approach the Raganuga Bhakti. So we are lover of Radharani, but we know that Radharani loves who the most? Krishna. So we all, because we want to make Radharani happy. So all the time what we talk Krishna, right? And whenever we say Krishna, we always prepend with Hare, which is energy of Krishna, Radharani. So that's the mood, right? The Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhant, that's the Siddhant. Now, this is what we will be talking in Nectar of Devotion. Now, before we go to the Nectar of Devotion, how many of you know about the Nectar of Instruction? This book? Have you, any of you have studied the Nectar of Instruction?
A little bit without any guidance, Prabhuji. I've read on my
Okay.
own.
Okay, okay. Okay. Anyone else?
I haven't, Prabhuji. I have heard, but yeah.
Okay, okay. We'll be. Initially, I thought that first I should do Nectar of Instruction, but then Shanvika Mataji, she was asking like about the Nectar of Devotion, like for her Bhakti Sastri, and I thought, I would also love to reread the Nectar of Devotion. It's such a sweet book. So I thought that first we will read the Nectar of Devotion, then we'll go to Nectar of Instruction. Nectar of Instruction is a small book. It talks about the process of being devotee. So it is about the process of being a exemplary devotee. Okay, so exemplary devotee. Now coming to Nectar of Devotion, you're saying that wow, why I'm taking so much, why I'm building so much of a what do you call it? There's a word for that. Suspense, right? Why I'm building so much of a suspense before I come to Nectar of Devotion. So I wanted to give, like, so see, Nectar of Devotion, I already talked, rasa plus mellow is the same mellow, right? Rasa, which is not plus, it is, which is also called mellow, right? In English word. But this is the combination of, this is what we are reading. Bhagavad Gita plus Srimad Bhagavatam plus Chaitanya Charitamrita, and there is one more plus. I'll just write it. Hari Bhakti. Hari Bhakti Vilas. So it is a combination of these four books. And so see, and the whole focus is on the pure love, the purest love. And it's not the philosophy of the purest love only. It says how to practice it, step by step, how to grow into it. And the first thing it does is by setting the definition, right? The first thing it does is by setting the definition, because anything if you want to read, right, you need to have a definition. Because if we don't have the definition, then how do we understand what is the North Star? Right? We cannot know what is the North Star. Correct? You agree?
Yes, Prabhu.
Right. So Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu has around 1200 or more verses, around 1200 or so verses. And while the Nectar of Devotion, so I don't want you to get confused. Nectar of Devotion, which is translated by Srila Prabhupada, it is referred as Nectar of Devotion. It is a summary study of Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu, written in a novel form based on the context at that time when Prabhupada was preaching in this world. Right? So he wanted his devotee to quickly understand what really bhakti means. So that's how Nectar of Devotion is different from the Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu, but otherwise it's a similar principle we'll be talking about. Okay, and some of the material I already told you while we are covering. Wherever it makes sense, I'll bring some of the concept from the Madhura Kadambini also, where it's relatable and where I think it adds value into our practice of bhakti. Okay, and we will also be referring to one other book, and this is something you can buy if you like, or it's not required actually. So I'm just telling, if you're curious type and if you'd like to read more, it's called Waves of Devotion. You can, I'll just copy it here. Waves of Devotion by Dhanurdhara Swami. Okay, so you can, so these are the things which we will be reference material. This is our reference material here. Let me. This is our reference material. This is what I have used, and I have also used the I will say the class by Balram Shakti Prabhu. I studied his class during the COVID, and me and my wife just became such a fan of Nectar of Devotion. That was the second time we read. Like, so in the as the part of the Bhakti Sastri, we have gone through the book, but the way Balram Shakti Prabhu presented, and he took us to the Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu verses, and that gives us a lot of mellow, actually a lot of value. Like, oh, so this is where it is coming from. Oh, this is where it's coming from. So it really helped us to understand the subject matter really deeper. So the next time I taught, I used that, and I built my class material based on that topic. So I will be using that. Okay. So this is how we will be talking about. Okay. Now, time check 8:42. We have another 45 minutes. Now, I would like to talk about the just thinking. Rupa Goswami. Okay, I would like to talk about Rupa Goswami, and here I'll be just presenting some summary here. Just give me a minute. Okay. Can you see it? Any thumbs up? You can
Yes.
see my screen? Okay, good. So, so there are some different character in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. There's Ramanand Roy. So these were the personal associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? They were gopis who came to assist Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There a lot of rasa was discussed with Ramananda Roy. Sir Bhama Bhattacharya, who was the impersonalist, there was a lot of discussion on the liberation. But the discussion with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with the Rupa Goswami was on the detail of the rasa. Okay, so we hear, right? Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Tadamayam Tadatiha Padantikam, right? We hear that that's our verse, right? This. So when will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? So this is what the devotees are, when we are saying that prayer, this is what we are asking, that when we will get the shelter under his lotus feet. So Rupa Goswami is telling, right, who established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya. Now, there's another verse. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. I think most probably you would know, but I'll just say that when you say CC is Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are three parts. This is Adi Leela. Okay, this is the Adi Leela, Madhya Leela, Anta Leela. So it's like just like in Srimad Bhagavatam of Canto, there are three sections. Okay, and this is in chapter 1, a fourth verse. And this is a amazing verse, and you will hear when what's his name? Who is Arjun Saka Prabhu's brother?
Amrinder Das Prabhu.
Amrinder Prabhu. When he sings, Anarpita Charim Chirat. I cannot sing, so I won't even attempt. Okay, but like you can feel the love. You can feel the love when it's sung. It's such a beautiful verse. So here it says, "May the Supreme Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Sachi Devi, be transcendently situated in the innermost chamber of your heart." So just think, such is referring to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Srimati Radharani and Krishna combined, is being invited in the innermost chamber of our heart. Resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, he has appeared in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before, the most sublime and radiant mellow of the devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. And so here Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who has written the original commentary on this, right? So he's glorifying Rupa Goswami. So we are going over who is Rupa Goswami, okay? So though there are others who in the past have taken up the path of devotional service to the Lord, I pay my continual obeisances to Srila Rupa Goswami, who is dearmost to the Lord. By his mercy, humanity has received the intelligence to see all rasas, relationship revealed by the bhakti. So just not all one rasa, multiple rasa. And Rupa Goswami, before he wrote this, he studied for many years the Rasha Sastra, right? So which is the drama. So like how the drama is depicted, how you depict the different emotions. So he went in and he studied that. And after that, he has written this book. Okay. So Srila Jiva Goswami, who's our another Goswami among the Sat Goswami, and Srila Jiva Goswami is considered one of the most, I say the most. See, all the Goswamis, they were very well versed in all the sastras, but Jiva Goswami, especially, the kind of books he has produced, he has written, is just unheard of. So there is one, Radhika Raman Prabhu. He hasn't visited here, but he is one of the PhD devotee, and he says that when he did when he did his PhD thesis, he was telling that there are so many chapters which so many books Jiva Goswami wrote. In one book, one chapter, and within that, one section is his thesis. So that's who Jiva Goswami is. And that Jiva Goswami is writing this, right? Obsessed by a desire to benefit all the devotee of the Lord, the esteemed author Srila Rupa Goswami compiled this remarkable work, the scripture called Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu, using the rasa presented in Srimad Bhagavatam, which appears within the lotus bud of his heart, right? And now Narottam Das Thakur, who is he'll be, some of you may know all these names, for some of you it may be little new, okay? So Narottam Das Thakur, again, a amazing devotee, and there's one amazing book which we read by one Mataji who has written about Narottam Das Thakur, which shows how much love, like he's the love personified. In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew that Narottam Das Thakur will be coming, and he has said that how to transfer the word, his love to him. Right, so there is a story about that. So Narottam Das Thakur writes below, right, that after Srimad Bhagavatam, Nectar of Devotion is the most commented book in our Sampradaya after Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam has around, based on what I heard from Radhika Raman Prabhu, around 50 or so commentary. So Nectar of Devotion, you can think that it may be ballpark of maybe 10, 20 commentary, right? It's the most commented book in our Sampradaya. So, and many acharyas say that, and these are my notes, okay, says that the Nectar of Devotion is the form of Radharani. So just like Srimad Bhagavatam is like a journal, right? It is like, okay, this is how you love, it's like a journal. It's like a Nectar of Devotion is like a textbook, right? If one has understood the concept of devotional service, then one can see the concept coming alive in Srimad Bhagavatam. So here are some other references, okay, and you can I'll just leave it. You just read it, okay? I just don't want to plainly read it. Why don't you all just read it while I'm here, and then any good place I have, if I have any comment, I will comment. So see, I'm describing just one drop. So it's and now when you read this one drop, you will think, wow, is this a one drop? What 1,000 drop will look like? What an ocean of drops would look like? And then we will be able to understand when, the mellows, when Prabhupada was saying the mellow, right? Rasa is being compared, right? That people try to compare it with the liberation, right? So liberation is like, it's one drop of like, and I read somewhere, one drop of pure love, just one drop is like a million times of like what the somebody could experience in liberation, or many millions or trillions, something like that. Some Goswami has put that in the commentary comparatively. So that's the one drop what we will be studying, and you will see it what it is. So why it is the most very important book for Gaudiya Vaishnava? Is a book of definition, right? This is talking about, it's a book of definition. It is a very important book because it gives precise definition of very important items in our Sampradaya. Like what is, if I ask us, anybody can describe what is bhakti, right? We all will come up with our own definition here, but here you are going to see what is the pure bhakti. When you read the definition, you will say, your jaw will drop. You'll say, wow, yeah, that makes sense. And just not drop, it will also tell us whether we are practicing pure bhakti or not. Okay. And there will be some good news, actually, for most of us. Okay. There will be some bad news also for some of us, but it will tell us. Similarly, what is the prema? What is the rasa? So there is a definition. There you will find the Sanskrit verses, and that's the reason those Sanskrit verses will give a lot more depth to this study. Okay. So, but why do we need precise definition anyway? Somebody will ask, right? That why we need this? So this course material is like more on the question, right? We are thinking, okay, why? And then it give the answer. Okay. So if we don't have precise definition of things, then we can fall into confusion. For example, I may talk about bhakti, but it might be totally different from what bhakti actually is. Bhakti generally means without in any material motives or desires, but in most cases, it is full of material desires, right? You will ask the devotee, like, do you have any material desire? Many will say that, yeah, little here, little there. So are we practicing bhakti? They say, oh no, I'm not practicing bhakti. Then are we not following in the footsteps of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? There is something wrong, right? Something missing. And this definition will help clarify that doubt. Okay. So bhakti means only for Krishna or Vishnu. But we see terms like Desh Bhakti, Samaj Bhakti, etc. Right? Words, especially Sanskrit words, have diverse meaning. Example, Atma. So Atma, the different meaning of Atma. Quickly, anyone?
Soul.
Of course, soul. Yeah, go ahead. One is soul. Atma also means there is a Bhagavad Gita verse where there are 4 or 5 times Atma is 5 times that Atma is being called out. Atma means souls. Atma means mind. Atma means body, right? So Atma can have a different level. Atma also means super soul also. So one word can mean so many things. So the context is very important. And Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu addresses that by precisely giving the answers to that. Okay. So if you want to have a philosophy that is intelligent and acceptable, it has to be very precise definition. Okay. So Nectar of Devotion is not a translation of Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu. I said that it is a summary study. Okay. It is not exactly translation. So comparing comparing Nectar of Devotion text to the verse of BRS, it is evident that Srila Prabhupada, the SP means Srila Prabhupada, gave his dictations while simultaneously consulting the commentaries, just as in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So when he was writing, he was consulting other commentary also, and he has put all those in Nectar of Devotion for an audience in a way that so that they can understand in a simple term what bhakti really means. So Prabhupada has done an amazing job by writing that simple book. However, in the Nectar of Devotion, he did not use his standard format I was talking about, right? Thus, he could sometimes take the liberty to greatly expand the original text when he felt that his audience needed a more relevant explanation. And you will see, this will be most of the cases, this will be our homework. While we are going through it, the homework when we are going, we will ask, I'll be requesting you to read the Nectar of Devotion chapters, and it will make a lot more sense while you are when you do that homework. Okay. And he will see the kind of example he has taken. And Srila Prabhupada has mainly used Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Jiva Goswami commentary on Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu. So what is the result? Probably more people have studied Srila Rupa Goswami teaching through the Nectar of Devotion than through the original text, right? Because Prabhupada simplified it so much. So does it mean that ISKCON devotees need not read the original text of Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu? That's the question may come, right? So you see how Prabhupada first wrote a simple book, then he elaborated on Chaitanya Charitamrita. Similarly, I was talking about the Krishna book, and then he gave the Srimad Bhagavatam, right? It's because he wanted to cover. So definitely, Prabhupada, if he would have time, he would have expanded it, and we can fully appreciate what Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu begins. And I think Prabhupada did talk about it, and that's the reason the first book after Prabhupada, which has been written in that fashion, is the Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu, which I was talking about, that the BBT will be publishing that book soon. Okay. So we will be covering the 19th chapter. Okay, so I will just go to the preface here. Here the preface is, this is the from the Waves of Devotion, and I find this preface very meaningful, so I'm using this. So it deals with the book deals with the two subjects: a brief history of Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu, including a biography of the authors, and then Bhakti Rasa, a primary subject of Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu. So what is the brief history? Somebody can read this brief history.
I can read, Prabhu.
Go ahead.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the original speaker of Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu. Srila Rupa Goswami heard him for 10 days on the bank of the Ganga at Dasavamedha Ghat in Prayag. The Goswami assimilated the Lord's instructions and systematically presented them in writing. In 1970, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada summarized Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu and gave it to the world as the Nectar of Devotion.
Yeah, keep going.
Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu. Bhakti Rasa is the primary subject of Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu. Srila Prabhupada introduces this subject by briefly commenting on the book's title, Bhakti. Srila Prabhupada says, Bhakti means devotional service. Bhakti connotes devotion or love, and love implies service, activity to please the beloved. Thus, devotional service is an eloquent definition of bhakti. Devotion is the most fundamental drive of every living entity. The basic principle of the living condition is that we have a general propensity to love someone. No one can live without loving someone else. We cannot be happy without satisfying this desire to love. We will not be able to perfectly fulfill this desire without permitting its expansion to the most inclusive extent. In the primary stage, a child loves his parents, then his brothers and sisters, and as he daily grows up, he begins to love his family, society, community, country, nation, or even the whole human society. But the loving propensity is not satisfied even by loving all human society. That loving propensity remains imperfectly fulfilled until we know who is the Supreme Beloved. Srila Prabhupada says that love can become all embracing only when we understand that Krishna is the Supreme Beloved. He is the root of all creation. By embracing Him, one successfully embraces everyone, as pouring water on the root of a tree successfully nourishes every leaf and branch. The
Just
Nectar
yeah.
of Devotion
Mhm.
teaches us the science of loving every one of the living entities, teaches the science of loving every one of the living entities perfectly by the easy method of loving Krishna. The loving propensity expands like a beam of light. By instructing us to love Krishna, the Nectar of Devotion will teach us how to turn the one switch that will immediately brighten everything, everywhere. One who does not know this method is missing the point of life.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, somebody would like to reach the rasa section here.
Sure, Prabhu.
Go ahead.
Rasa is difficult to translate. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj translated it as mellow. Srila Prabhupada followed in his footsteps. The word rasa used in the Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu is understood by different persons differently because the exact English equivalent is very difficult to find. But as we have seen our spiritual master translate this word rasa into mellow, we shall follow in his footsteps and also translate the word in that way, page 151. Literally, rasa means juice. Contextually, it means mellow. Mellow means sweet and fully flavored from ripeness as fruit. Thus, mellow refers to the relishably sweet taste of a fruit, a taste contained in its juice. Relationships are comparable to fruits. The pleasure we taste is in these relationships is the juice, the mellow, the rasa. The taste of a fruit is what attracts us to eat it. Similarly, the force that attracts us to a certain activity or a relationship is the taste we enjoy in it. Srila Prabhupada explains, driven by affection for his wife and children, a family man works day and night. A philanthropist works in the same way for love of great family, and a nationalist for the cause of his country and countrymen. That force which drives the philanthropist, the householder, and the nationalist is called rasa, or a kind of mellow relationship whose taste is very sweet.
Yeah, Mataji. So
These
just
are
so just Mataji, just we'll take a pause. So see, this is very important. See, I like this sentence. A philanthropist works in the same way for the love of the greater family, and the nationalist for the cause of his country and countrymen. That force which drives the philanthropist, the householder, and the nationalist is called Russia. So see, the the drive which we have to work, right? Who like people say I am working, right? But what is driving that force? Because I want to support my family, I want to support my wife, I want to support my children. So that drive is being considered to rasa. Now you'll see that how this drive rasa, right? Now what will drive me towards Krishna? So that rasa is the subject matter of this book. Okay, go ahead, Mataji.
okay. There are two kinds of taste. Bhakti rasa, the taste relished in devotional service to Krishna, and mundane rasa, the taste enjoyed by sense gratification. Bhakti rasa is the incalculably superior taste. Not only is it superior to sense gratification, it is limitlessly superior even to the bliss of spiritual emancipation. Srila Rupa Goswami describes its Brahmananda, or the happiness of becoming one with Supreme, is multiplied by 1 trillion fold. It still cannot be compared to an atomic fraction of the happiness derived from the ocean of devotional service.
Yeah,
It
so
is
this is what,
important.
so see,
Yeah,
so sorry, this is what I was talking about. See, how it is
yes.
compared, right? Multiplied by 1 trillion fold, it is still cannot be compared to one atomic fraction of the happiness derived from the ocean of devotional service. It's so deep. Go ahead. Sorry, Mataji.
No problem, Prabhu. It's really amazing. It is impossible for us to fully understand the infinite happiness relished in bhakti because it is beyond the realm of anything we experience in our finite existence. Srila Prabhupada, however, gives us a glimpse of bhakti rasa by comparing it to something we are quite familiar with, mundane rasa. Mundane rasa. Srila Prabhupada describes mundane rasa by noting its two qualities. One, bhoga tyaga, oscillation between enjoyment and renunciation, and kapala
No,
sukha,
chapala sukha.
chapala sukha, flickering duration of happiness.
So this is very important to understand, right? The kind of rasa which we experienced in our life, and we can, it's very relatable. So we go through this oscillation, right? Sometimes we are like enjoying, and then we sometimes we get fed up. Oh, my relationship is not working. I just want to leave it. I just want to. I'm done with it, right? I'm happy, single, right, or whatever. So oscillation between enjoyment and renunciation, and chapala sukha. So whatever we are getting is flickering. It's a flickering. So that's how we should know it's a mundane rasa. Go ahead, Mataji.
Bhoga tyaga, neither enjoyment bhoga nor renunciation tyaga is the natural position of the soul. Therefore, one cannot remain permanently situated in either. One will oscillate between the two, finding satisfaction in neither. Random house.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Chapala sukha. The happiness sukha of mundane rasa is always temporary and flickering. Chapala, even the greatest material pleasure must end at death. Bhakti rasa. Srila Prabhupada illustrates the superiority of Bhakti rasa over mundane rasa by contrasting the two. Mundane rasa is bhoga tyaga. In contrast, Bhakti rasa is natural position of the soul, and thus one can remain satisfied there perpetually without oscillation. Mundane rasa is chapala sukha. In contrast, the pleasure of Bhakti rasa does not flicker.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mataji. Okay. Anybody would like to read the Amrita? So see, so it's going into Bhakti Rasa Mrita, right? So Bhakti Rasa Mrita book is being described. So in summary form, that what is the content of this book? Okay. Who will read Amrita? Short section.
I can.
Please go ahead, Mataji.
Since the pleasure of bhakti rasa does not fade, it is mrita, deathless. Bhakti rasa, however, the mellow relished in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, does not finish with the end of life. It continues perpetually and therefore called amrita, that which does not die but exists eternally. Srila Prabhupada explains that the activities of devotional service are never vanquished even by death. Amrita means nectar, a tasty beverage which makes one deathless. Devotional service not only bestows eternal pleasure, it is also the process of achieving eternality.
Go ahead, finish this, Bhakti Rasa. Yeah, go ahead.
The nectarian pleasure derived from devotional service in to Krishna is clearly superior to material sense gratification. One may sometimes manage to procure a few drops of sense pleasure, but there is an entire ocean, Sindhu, of the nectar of devotion easily available to everyone. Always by understanding the nectar of devotion, one can dive deeply into the ocean.
Okay, so now you see, by reading this, we say book name is Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu. So it describes what is bhakti. It compares, so summarizing, right? It compares the mundane with the spiritual, right? Rasa, the mellow, it talks about relationship, how there is a rasa, right? So it tries to make us, because we haven't seen rasa, right? So it Prabhupada brought it that how to think of rasa. Amrita, you just read it, and Sindhu is the ocean. So now this book is that book, right? Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu. So I had loved this definition, and thank you, Mataji. So So we talked about rasa means pleasure, emotion that is sweet, right? Example of a family man, philanthropist, nationalist, Prabhupada talked about. This is summary, right? Material rasa, bhoga, tyaga, and chapala sukha. So how do we compare it? By the bhakti rasa is natural position of the soul, is perpetual, is eternal, right? So that is how we differentiate between material rasa and bhakti rasa. So it does help, and some analogy does help, right? So initially, to start with, thinking, though I'm talking about the love, what does the love, what kind of form? So when we think about the intimate relationship, we think about, okay, this is what the intimate relationship looks like. Now we say, oh, okay, you know the intimate relationship, but this is what it's happening in the material world. That's bhoga tyaga, right? And that's chapala. And now it contrasts that this is how it is different. So the way the whole commentary has been presented by Prabhupada is just shows how much he has internalized. Okay. And effects of mundane rasa, we all know about no guarantee of next life as human being, right? And there is a reference where the personality of God had said, under the supervision of the Supreme Lord and according to the result of his work, the living entity, the soul, is made to enter into the womb of a woman through the particle of male semen to assume a particular type of body, right? So this is just a reference which most of you already know about it. And this is looking a little big. Okay, and the effects of bhakti rasa, and this is the in this endeavor there is no loss of diminution, and little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. A human being engaged in Krishna consciousness, even if unable to complete the course of bhakti yoga, takes birth in the higher division of human society so that he can automatically further his advancements in Krishna consciousness, right? So important points. So this is the summary. This is again another reference which summarizes this. Anybody would like to read this important point from the preface?
I can go again. Important points from the preface. Nectar of Devotion teaches the principle of Mahaprabhu's movement, which is elevating everyone to the exalted position of a Goswami through devotional service. Man engages in various services of humanity because he derives some pleasure from such service. However, as it is all a material affair, it does not endure and terminates entirely at death. Therefore, man remains dissatisfied. The pleasure, rasa, derived from serving our true object of affection, God, is perpetual, blissful, and fully satisfying. This rasa is eternal. The bhakti rasa stage of life is when we engaged in the Lord's service with purified senses, freed from identification with mundane designations. The loving tendency, which is within everyone, remains unfulfilled when respond in temporary material persons or objects. It will only be fulfilled when correctly placed in Krishna. By loving Krishna, we will automatically love everyone, just as by water the root of a tree, the entire tree is nourished. Nectar of Devotion is specifically presented for persons engaged in the Krishna conscious movement.
So now, if I will just ask everybody, just if you have to take, like, we went through the preface and we have gone over the context. If you have to say, what is your takeaway so far? If everybody can go quickly and tell me what is your takeaway so far. Bhumika Mataji, you want to start?
I like to give a couple seconds.
Okay, you
of
want to
thought.
think? Okay, yeah, you want to think? Okay, who would like to go next? Who can share?
I think I can share one to begin with.
Yeah, I just need one.
The
Yeah.
difference of mundane rasa and bhakti rasa.
Okay.
How everybody is serving, and what was the two things about the flickering of the happiness, and the person is, I forgot the terms. Chala something was one.
Chapala sukha.
Chapala. And then there was another one where
Bhoga tyaga.
before that bhoga tyaga. So that's like it's not steady. That happiness is not steady. And one is never satisfied, no matter even if they love the whole human society, they're not satisfied. But if we love Krishna, which is like watering the roots of a tree, then we automatically love everybody. And that is the most satisfying form of love.
Good. Very good. Good takeaways, Mataji. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just a takeaway, whatever you picked up, right? We are all different beings. So, okay, who would like to go next?
I think the most impactful thing right now for me was hearing in the beginning about how it's impossible to really describe bhakti. And so we're only just getting, as you've said before, like just a drop of it, which is extremely expansive in my perception. So, I think this is exciting.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, wonderful. Okay, next.
I think I almost my feeling is almost same like Bhumika Mataji's what she has expressed, Bhoga Tyaga, which is mundane rasa. Compared to Bhakti Rasa, it's eternal. And the experience what we are having is very atomic when compared to when we surrender. It's the ocean of love what we can experience. So the unintentional love we put it towards Krishna will make us automatically surrender. I mean, we always love everyone, just like be we love everyone. Like it need not be anything material feeling. It's just a feel we get unintentionally without any expectation. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so Sundar Prabhu or Preeti Mataji, would you like to share?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu, Hari Bol.
So I echo with Bhumika Mataji. So basically, what I understood is that we can love so many things, but that will be end up in temporary things, chapala. But if you love Krishna, it is permanent. That is one. The other one is loving Krishna will make you love everything else as well. So it's
Okay.
not it's kind of complete love that fulfills your soul. Yeah.
Okay. So we have actually covered quite a bit of topic, but right, we are now. So there must be some other takeaway also. I'm pretty sure, right? So anybody would, Preeti Mataji, would you like to share something? You have any takeaway so far?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I think it's similar to what others have, but mainly what Rup Goswami is, trying to convey is, I think, um, based on what everybody said, as well as the conclusion, like, material happiness is like something like Shanbhangur, just for a momentary happiness. While, as I mentioned in the early beginning, Prabhu, feeling of content, you don't get satisfied with the material happiness. When you serve Krishna, you get all the happiness, you don't feel, or that feeling of content
Okay.
only comes when we serve Krishna, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. So see, there are so this is where if possible, okay, and don't take it in a wrong way, right? Next class, just try to be like be like when so the one of the challenge with the online classes, and this is Amrinder Prabhu, okay, so I'm speaking what, so I attended one of the Amrinder Prabhu's class. He was teaching us meter, so one of the meter class we attended for a year, and he would always require his student to be present on the video. He will point out why I'm seeing the black thing. Because what happens typically when we are standing from home, sometimes we get distracted, we are not focusing because there are so many points, right? So many points. For example, I'll just share here, right? This was it just you see what it's telling. This book, Mahaprabhu, is elevating everyone to the exalted position of Goswamis. So this book is, and this is a summary, right? Even if you have seen the important point from the preface, right? This is elevating. So this book, if read and understood properly, will make all of us eligible to become a exalted Goswami. That's what this book is. So, of course, Prabhu, we talked about the Chapala Sukha and compared it with the contrasted with, right? But then we also talked about who is Rupa Goswami, it's what the different author has talked about Rupa Goswami. Then we also talked about what is bhakti. So that is the part that most of you, right? Then what is rasa, right? What is a Sindhu? What is Amrita, right? All those things we have gone over. So if we are more present, you will be able to get more. See, you all are spending 1.5 hour of your weekday time, right? So why don't we get the most out of it, right? And I would like this class to be more interactive. Like, so I'm learning, right? And the more we interact, the more we all will learn together with each other. So my kind request, with folded hand, try to participate more and more, be present, so that we all can get most out of it. Okay, and please do not take my word personally. I only have the goodness for all of us. Okay, I'm just in a position of facilitator, so I just said a little bit more. Okay, so we'll be getting into the introduction, the Mangala Charan, and any book start with the Mangala Charan prayers, right? And there are 3 sections to the Mangala Charan prayer. Anywhere, Vastu Nirdesh, Ashirvad, Namaskar, right? Which is what is the goal, right? Then it pays the Ashirvad, right? The benediction, and Namaskar obeisances, right? So these are the 3 things. These are the 3. So first 6 verses of Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu, the first 6 verses is Mangala Charan, and you'll see that now we are starting the Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu book actually. Okay, so and there's a reference from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 1.22. Which talks about this what is the Mangala Charan, what is the definition of Mangala Charan, which is the Vastu Nirdesh, Ashirvad, and Namaskar. Okay? So what is Vastu Nirdesh? So Vastu Nirdesh set the objective. And what is the objective of this book? Krishna is the subject of this book. For Nectar of Devotion, this is Krishna in subject. So Nectar of Devotion, the whole focus is Krishna and nothing but the Krishna. Okay, it doesn't go anywhere. So in the 3rd verse, I indicate the absolute truth, who is the ultimate substance. With such a description, one can visualize the supreme truth. So here is the first verse from Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu 1.1.1, which talks about the Vastu Nirdesh. So I'll read this verse. Akhila Rasamrita Murti Prasar Mara Ruchi Rudha Taraka Pali Kalita Syama Lalito Radha Priyan Vidhur Jayati. So Krishna, the destroyer of all sin and the bestower of all bliss, the very form of the highest bliss, filled with all rasas, excels all others in glory. He brings Taraka and Palika under his control. By the diffusion of his beauty, he accepts or embraces Shyamala and Lalita as his equals and gives pleasure to Radha by his excellent qualities. So we will be going. Initially, when you read it, when I read it, I don't know about you. When I read it, I didn't get the gist, right? But now when you read this further elaboration of it, word by word, we will understand why this is considered the Vastu Nirdesh. why it is the subject matter. The first verse of Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu defines the book's objective, which is Lord Shri Krishna. He is the supreme personality of Godhead because he is the reservoir of all rasas, which is Akhila Rasamrit Murti. So reservoir of all rasa is Akhila, right? So he's the let's go one by one here. So which is the Akhila Rasa Murti is in English, the meaning is personification of all the rasa. So who is making all the rasa real? Murti, Murti we understand, right? Which is the personification, deity form, rasa. And Akhila, he's the one who can only do it. Okay. So here the Akhila Rasamrita Murti, for that the reference which has been taken is the Srimad Bhagavatam verse. And here in this, how Krishna is Akhila Rasamrita-Sindhu and Murti. And this book, so the situation is Krishna has now come to Mathura and he's entering the arena where he has to fight with the with the two wrestlers, right? What was the name of the wrestlers? Anybody remembers? Okay, that's the homework. Let's
Chadu and Mustik Prabhuji?
Yes. Very good. Okay, so here you see. So just hear or read carefully, okay? So here, Malla Nam Ashneer. So here, wrestlers as thunderbolt. So people who are seeing Krishna. So there are group of people who are sitting in that arena. Krishna is entering. Okay, just try to imagine. Krishna is entering, and a part of the people is saying, "Wow, what a strong boys are coming!" Right? They're saying that they are like a wrestler, like a thunderbolt. They have defeated all these people, like the elephant. They have killed the elephant. Right? They have destroyed this. They have destroyed. So they're thinking about the Veer Rasa. They're thinking in the Veer Rasa. Right? Then there is the group of a group of people. They are thinking, "Wow, what kind of boys are they?" I like Vismaya, right? They're like Vismaya means unbelievable. Are they real? So I cannot believe my eyes. It's called Vishmaya Rasa. Vishmaya. I cannot believe. It's beyond my understanding. So a group of people are thinking like that. So Veera Rasa, Vishmaya Rasa. Madhurya Rasa. A group of people who are thinking like, oh, Krishna is just like a Cupid, right? He's just like a Cupid. He's just charming our heart. My heart is not with me. I just want to jump and just touch him, right? Then there are group of peoples who are cowherd boys and their relatives. They're thinking, oh, my friend has come, and they're laughing. And look what he has done, which he always does. So, right, Sakya, friendship, and Hasya, which is Hasya is English word. Somebody help me.
Happiness.
Humor?
Humor.
Laugh?
Humor. Okay, yes. Okay, then Rodra Ras, impious rulers as a chastiser. So people, those are like who are impious, they are thinking, man, these people are getting killed like anything. What's going to happen to me? So they are scared. Rodra, like they're seeing how he's destroying everybody. Like Rudra, right? You can think Rudra, which is the Shiva form, which is destroyer, right? Rodra, he can destroy, like he can annihilate anybody. So that's how they are seeing Rodra Rasa. And then his parents are there. Krishna's parents are there. They are in love. Oh, my son, and they're karuna, like they're crying. Like when you see somebody with love, vasalya and karuna, so the emotions are coming from them. So that emotion is happening. And then bhyanak rasa, like wow, they saw that the Kamsa was killed. Right after Kamsa was killed, there are people thinking that, oh, I am next. I am next. I am going to get killed. If Kamsa can get killed, I can also get killed. Right? So bhyanak rasa, like bhyanak again, English word, what it would be?
Terrifying.
Terrifying. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Terrifying. Terrifying. And then Bip Hatsa Rasa. Bib Hatsa Rasa. Unintelligent as Virat Root. Right? So this word I cannot. I have
Practice
to.
totally havoc.
Yeah, it will. So the people are thinking like other words I can relate. Bib Hatsa Rasa. I'm not able to relate. So I have to come back to this. Okay. Unless some of you has any comment on that.
It's completely destroyed and everything is shattered, completely shattered.
Like
Bivats,
devastated.
devastated,
Devastated.
correct. Yeah,
Devastated.
devastated.
Yeah, maybe devastated. Okay. And then
English
Sant
translation of that word also comes as hideous, Prabhuji.
hideous.
Hideous, Vivasta.
Vyavastha is coming as hideous. Yeah, so because here he says unintelligent as Virat Rupa. So the people who are unintelligent, they are thinking him as Virat Rupa, right? They are so unintelligent. Like so there is more to it, right? So I have to look up a little bit. So let's pass this, and then Santarasha. That so there are people, right? They are like yogis, like they're saying, oh, he's the absolute truth. There's no doubt, he's the absolute truth, and they are meditating in their heart, right? So there are people like that, and then of course there are Dasya Rasa, Vrishni, the supreme worshipable deity. So there are all his subjects, right? In Mathura, they're saying, oh, wow, he's our he will be our king, right? They are Dasya Rasa. So see why it is saying Akhila Rasa Mrit Murti, by when Krishna is seen by a group of people, all different kind of rasa can be felt, right? So that's the reason why Krishna is defined as Akhila Rasa Mrita Murti. He is the personification of all the rasas, and that's the reason why this particular verse has been taken. Okay, so he's the so we will take a pause here, or no, let me finish. Actually, just finish this. Krishna, reservoir of all rasa, and Krishna, attractor of the gopis. So that will finish the first part, okay, which is the subject matter, and then we will start from Namaskar. So let me quickly read. So Krishna's supremacy is his all lovable personality, not his position of majesty and authority. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Prabhupada explains this by comparing Lord Narayana to a high court judge. The judge is a majestic and powerful figure in the courtroom, but only in the privacy of his own home is he fully manifest. At home, the judge abundantly reveals his intimate and sweet personality. To his old parents, he is an obedient and faithful son. To his friends, a bosom chum, and to his mate, a passionate lover. Similarly, when Lord Narayana performs the creationary role of God, he reveals only his majesty and power. At home in Vrindavan, however, the fullness of his wonderfully sweet personality blossoms. Therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami addresses Vrindavan Krishna as Akhila Rasamrita-Sindhu and singles him out as the objective of Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu. I don't know how much focus you means reread it, how much focus, and this is the important, right? When you compare it, Narayana is same as Krishna, right? But in Vrindavan, Narayana is not showing all the, even though he has all the rasa, but that is not manifested in his form as Narayana, right? Because he's sitting as a king. While at home, he's just like normal being. So even his son can climb on the dad and say, horsey, horsey, run, right? And that judge, there's in this, as Prabhupada is giving the example, the judge will be just walking on his force, right? But he's a judge, like when he was in the high court, everybody is just like this, correct? So that's the Vrindavan Krishna, and that is the glory of Vrindavan Krishna, and that Vrindavan Krishna is being talked as a Akhila Rasamrita Murti, not any other form of Krishna. It is the Vrindavan Krishna. Okay. So Krishna, attractor of the gopis. By his universal and transcendental attractive feature, he has captivated all the gopis, headed by, so is it Tarika, Palika, Shama, Lalita, and ultimately Srimati Radharani. So that was the right. It says Tarika Pali, right? See, Tarika, Palika, Kalita, Syama, Lalita, Radha, right? So all those names of name of the gopis are being called out. So he's attracting everybody. All kind of gopis are just gravitating. They don't want, but they're get just pulled as if they are not in control. Okay, the Srila Rupa Goswami groups 5 different gopis according to the intensity. So why these are specific 5 gopis, right? According to the intensity of their affection for Krishna, Tarika and Palika, Shyama and Lalita, and Srimati Radharani. By his radiantly attractive feature, Krishna subjugates Tarika and Palika, right? So just by attractive features, Tarika and Palika, and oh, Krishna, like, oh, there is no one. Like they have lost their heart, right? He controls them just by his feature. He controls them. Krishna absorbs Shama and Lalita, so their mind is now totally controlled by Krishna. He takes them into his own intimate circle, and Srimati Radharani is the dearest to Krishna. He becomes her submissive lover. Now see the gradient of love, and this is what Nectar of Devotion will take us. Gradient of love, gradient of love. Um, so there are 8 different kind of gradient of love which will be talked actually further. Okay. Um, so here, see 3 level of loves, right? One, how he's getting just Krishna feature, they are getting subjugated, and then now how they become just not subjugated, they are coming into inner circle, right? They are in the inner circle of Krishna. Whatever Krishna says, right? It is like more than the subjugated. And for Radha Rani, he is becoming he's becoming the lover, right? So he becomes her submissive lover. Such is the unrivaled power of her devotion. Krishna, the lover of Srimati Radharani and reservoir of all rasa, is the object and the goal of Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu. So this, beautifully like this, um, very happily, I am ending the session for today. If you have any other comment, anything you would like to share before we end, please do share.
Felt very happy, Prabhu, after a long time. Thank you very much. Yeah, all Krishna's glories. Hare
All
Krishna.
right, all right, thank you. Any other comment? Question?
I appreciate that you're doing the class, so thank you so much.
Thank you very much. See, because due to all of you, I'm rereading it and I'm enjoying it. Means see, every time you know Bri Mataji, right? Every time we read, now you are teaching the subject matter, right? And you relish, right, when you're discussing the subject matter. Similarly, I'm relishing it. I'm loving it. So thank you very much. So the pleasure is mine. Thank you so much for being here. And as we go through the subject matter, I think we'll relish it more. We'll relish it more. Okay. Thank you very much. So to to see that if what other day might work, any thought on it? Any proposal? If we can start with some proposal and see what might work. So I heard that Saturday doesn't work, but for some the Saturday might work. Friday evening is the other option, 5 to 6:30, or maybe even for 1 hour, 5 to 6, not 90 minutes, maybe 1 hour, 5 to 6. Will that work?
Friday works for me.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Fi-
Friday works for me, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay. 5 to
Not for
6.
me, Prabhu.
What,
Friday
Mataji?
5 to 6. 5 to 6. Friday doesn't work for me, Prabhu.
It doesn't work
8
for
to
you?
9 is still okay.
Okay.
Any weekday late 8 to
Okay.
9:30 works.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Okay. So, okay. So, what about Sunday? Sunday morning, 9 to 10.
No,
I
Prabhu, it
can
doesn't work for me. I
Doesn't
have
work. Okay.
service. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, it will be always be difficult for everybody to agree. I know there are some people who wanted to join the class, but the Monday doesn't work. That's the nature of our thing. Okay. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So next time we are going to meet on next Monday. Okay. Some other ideas comes. We will see what happens. Okay. Otherwise, next Monday. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
They will
Hare Bol Prabhu.